Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress with Pixie Dust Tarot, and this is your daily dust for Saturday, March 4th. March already, I keep forgetting. March 4th if you're watching in real time, but it can also be for whenever you stumble upon it. It is a timeless reading. So every day I try to use a different deck. Sometimes I have to repeat myself, but this time I'm using the Penelope's Tarot, which is very pretty indie deck here. Cute little box. And may this deck help you find the hope and joy even in the darkest of times. It doesn't come with the book, but it's really pretty edged and everything. So let's see what we get for today, or beyond today. It's also a timeless reading, whenever you stumble upon it. And it can, sometimes the energies can go beyond a single day, much like astrological transits. Kind of do that too sometimes. Sometimes it can be just a mundane, get your hair cut kind of day, or it can be something big like, this is the beginning of your transformation. All right, so let's see what we have. Take from the middle. Ooh, a car. Somebody's getting a new car, the Chariot. Oh, wow, that's so funny. This is like my son's actually changing his oil right as we speak. And I just paid for some car repairs just a few minutes ago. And then we have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands came out yesterday. Or it's something that's been coming up a lot. I feel like it's about duty. It's about diligence. It's about keep going, pushing through, like just every day do something. And you're going to like make it to the end. You'll see it all the way through. It's like the victory at the end of the road. Victory at the end of the road. And we have Eight of Daggers. Okay. So sometimes fears creep in. Let's see what we have here. Let's zoom on in a little bit. This deck is nice because it does basically follow the Rider-Waite-Smith with, just a little bit of a modern interpretation. So the Chariot is victory. I feel like there's just two ways of looking at things here. There's the way of seeing yourself as being victorious and triumphant and achieving the goals that you set out to make. And then this fear of loss and the fear of getting hurt and the fear of if you make a move that you will suffer some kind of painful consequence or something. And then right in the middle, it's like your duty. It's what you must do. It's what you set, the goals that you set out for yourself to do. So the Ten of Wands, though, you have a variety of things that you can do here with the Ten of Wands. With the Ten of Wands, you can do all the work yourself and just keep on going and trudging through and working hard. You can set down some of your load if you would like. You can delegate your work to others and get other people to help you. You can pace yourself. You can take a few steps with your load, then set it down, and then pick it up and go a little bit more. There's lots of ways that you can, it's kind of like choices you have when it comes to dealing with your work and your duty. And it does give me a little bit like, sometimes it's kind of like sometimes it's like a CEO, the CEO, the best kind of leader and CEO is the one that runs the ship, but knows how to delegate and gives certain people the jobs that they need in order to make the whole thing run. So there could be some of that for you, or maybe it's just you in particular are carrying on an extra workload today. That could be it. It could be something having to do with driving even. Like if you're a delivery person, maybe today is a very full day, extra work. But the Ten of Wands is sparkly. See, it's like all the lights around it, and she's basically smiling. This is kind of like in a lot of cards, a lot of decks, this is called the duty and the pleasure. It's like it's like being a mom or a dad. It's like, yeah, it's a kind of burdensome sometimes to have to do the ins and outs. This is like carpooling. This is like soccer moms, people, things like that. The getting your kids around and running errands. It could be a lot of that stuff, and when, especially when it comes to your kids, it's a happy thing. It's like, even though it's work, to have all these beyond your own job in the day. If you have a day job, if your job is to take care of your kids, which is everybody's job who has kids, right? Then sometimes you're not appreciated for the time that you have to spend to take care of your kids. And even if it not doesn't have anything to do with children, it can be just responsibilities that you have that are yours, And so it depends on how you delegate them. You can take it all on yourself, or you can ask people for help and support. And don't be afraid to ask. Or maybe the Eight of Daggers is just about the being afraid to ask. The worst that can happen is somebody says no, you be rejected. And yeah, maybe it's hard to get rejected. Maybe you're sensitive, and maybe you don't like to hear that word. Maybe you don't like to face those kinds of feelings, because then it maybe it's a trigger into other parts of yourself that you haven't really incorporated, your self-worth issues. So if you're having any of those issues, then maybe it is important. Maybe sometimes the pain is there on purpose to help you realize what are those things that trigger you and what you need to work on, and you need to surface those things up and then look at them and say, is this really as bad as I'm making it out to be? Maybe I can diminish it somehow. Maybe I can make diminish is kind of the word, but there's a better word. Let me think about this for a second. I'm still not. You guys tell me in the comment section if you can come up with the word. So it's something like diffusing the situation, diminishing, de-escalating. Like if something gets out of hand, instead of adding fire to the flame, you speak in a calm voice. You de-escalate the energy that feels like it's about to go out of control. So the Eight of Daggers is kind of makes me think of that a little bit. It's like, instead of like blowing up this in your mind, that's something that's going to be painful. It's like self-fulfilled prophecy. It doesn't have to be that. It's like diffuse that image, that idea in your head, diminish it, diffuse it, de-escalate the way your path of your mind is going, bring it back, like hone it in, pull it in. So that's kind of how I think it is. It's like, there's some things that you might be afraid of, some things that and this is fear of some kind of pain, or some kind of, could be physical pain, or it could be some kind of failure, fear of failure, or fear of, just getting something wrong. But the thing is, we will make mistakes, and mistakes will happen, and learning, is what happens when we make mistakes, and then you just do better next time. And it's not like it is difficult, especially if you're a perfectionist, and some people don't even try because they want it to be perfect, and therefore they're not going to try it because they fear that it won't be perfect. But people hone their perfection, they hone their skills until they get to the peak of and there's no real such thing as perfectionism, perfect, but to reach that, it takes a lot of practice, and within that practice takes a lot of error, right? Trial and error and messing up. So today, I think for a lot of like work people out there, it could be a mix of those things. It's like delegating. This could be, this could also be like you as working underneath somebody who maybe is a micromanager, and kind of helping you see why a micromanager might be the way that they are, because they have like some internal fears, and they're afraid of delegating. Or, maybe you're taking on too much, and somebody is trying to tried to micromanage you. I felt a little micromanage energy from the Eight of Daggers as well. So take what resonates and leave the rest. I feel like in general though, the most positive energy is in the Chariot. It's the first card out. It sets the tone. There's triumph. There's a win here. They're steering the car in the direction you want to go. I feel like possibly this could be something that only you can do, and you are the one that have to push through and see it through. And the pain, the fear could be just that you might overdo it. You might get hurt if you try too hard. So don't overdo it if you don't need to. If you can share the burden, then do share the burden. But if it's something only you can do, then it's kind of like no pain no gain almost. It's like this might not be fear. It might be just a realization that you will have to face a little bit of physical struggle to get what you want. A little bit of resistance, a little bit of pain. Even simple things like cleaning the house makes you a little bit tired, and so so it could be something minor like that, or it could be something major where you feel like if you do too much, you might like put your back out of whack or something like that. You might have some actual physical pain. It could be other kinds of pain. It could be emotional, mental, and pain, heartbreak, or those kind of things. But this is usually Eight of Daggers has to do with your mental state. Daggers, meaning the swords energy, has to do with how you perceive things, how you see things, what your mind is doing. And some of these swords cards is almost the whole suit, but many of the cards in the suit is just your mind playing tricks on you at times, or that monkey mind get in the way of your intuition. The Chariot comes from the major arcana, which is more of that higher energy, the higher self, the place where the messages that you get in your mind and in your heart, you can trust the most, right? And this is kind of a nice even energy. It's neither negative or positive. It's just just kind of there. It's like duty and burden and how you perceive it. So just try to see it as you're achieving things, and that you don't have to imagine the pain, or this could be like the pain body. I don't know, like focusing too much on those fears. You might like to check out some Eckhart Tolle. He talks about the pain body, and that might help you understand better what this reading might mean for you. Otherwise, I just feel like it is a triumph for you today. Whatever you do today, however you go about your day, you will succeed and do well. That just, you know what? It's so funny because today I had to take my cat to get his tooth fixed, and so the outcome is kind of like labor. It's like childbirth. You have to go through pain to have a baby, but when you have the baby, it's like you almost forgot all the pain you went through because you have this beautiful miracle of life in your arms. And then and same with other medical things. It could be medical stuff here. It could even be teeth. It looks sort of like a mouth almost, but it's no fun to do some of these procedures, and it hurts a lot of times. You have to take medicine to recover, but then when you're over that period of taking medicine, then you're like, your life is 1,000 times better than it was before when you were just kind of dealing with it, right? So I feel like this is a good message to go ahead and do those things that you need to do, so you don't have to deal with the little pains, in the bigger things. In the bigger picture, you'll have a better quality of life when you deal with the little things before it gets too big. Okay? There's another message. Anyway, this is a lot there. I feel a lot of energy from a lot of different souls out there. So definitely comment what parts kind of resonate with you, and maybe you have your own story that is playing out. I do see some of you maybe even getting cars, and maybe you have to borrow money. Maybe that some of that, but there's no pentacles here. It's just about the drive, and then the mental self getting in the way of your drive. Yeah. So don't let that happen. It's gonna be okay. You can do it. You can do it. The Chariot is your promise that you can do it. That's there. That's innate. It's innate in this reading, and so you can do it. I hope you like that. Faith, Trust, and Pixie Dust.